website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, left hand fatigue, the ability to just keep on practicing, getting tired, practicing so much that you can't move your fingers, or your fingertips are getting really sore. So whenever you pick up the guitar, it feels like absolute torture. What do you do about these things? I got a lot of questions about that, and in this video, I'm going to give you every single insight I have on the subject. So please stay with me because it's very important, because it will remove some of the frustration you feel when you practice and you can't keep practicing, or whatever your problem is. The first insight I want to give you is that when I play, I don't use force, I don't use strength, I use precision and accuracy. And that's the same thing that goes for you when you play something that you're really good at. Because when you're really good at it, you stop trying to compensate for the fact that you can't really hit the frets accurately enough. So if you just push the strings harder, then you will produce a note, right? If I fret the note in between 2 frets, it doesn't become as strong a note. But if I use a lot of force, then I can absolutely compensate for the fact that I'm not accurate. So, and the same thing goes for bar chords. In the beginning, I was like using every single muscle in my hand to make that index finger really press down on the strings like a capo, right? And that took an enormous amount of force. And then I did right? These days, it's like I use no force. Why? And I have a video about that. That's the most hateful comments is below that one, because people don't really understand what the point of the video is, or some people don't. The point of the video is that today, when I do a bar chord, I've substituted that with precision. So I only really put pressure on the strings that I need to put pressure on. So I can do bar chords all day. It's no problem, right? I don't use any, extra force because I got that precise, and I can take my hand out here, do a bar chord, so it's instant, right? It's that exact feeling of just hitting the right strings with the right amount of force, nothing more and nothing less. That's what the brain does all day, by the way. It tries to save resources. So when you're practicing, it tries to come up with a way of not using a lot of strength. But we have to get that, and that's the point of this video. We have to get that playing guitar is not about having strong hands. When you pick very deeply, in order for you to compensate for the fact that you can't pick just enough to make the string ring out and accurately, go have the same picking depth up and down all the time. Because when you have that, you can just pick so superficially. It's not that, and I remember, years of picking, not years, but, at least a couple of years of picking where I used just so much energy just making the picking happen. And as I learned to become better at picking and alternate picking and sweep picking, I used less and less force. At some point, I could do it all, right? I could do the bar chords, I could do the picking, but I still used a lot of energy to make it happen. Also focus, mental energy, just making the stuff happen. And then as I used those techniques, which I had gotten to the level I had, then it started getting easier and easier to use them. So as I used them more and more, alternate picking, that old Paul Gilbert's thing, that became I had to really focus on it, and I had to pick deeply, not to miss a note, because if you pick very deep into the string, then the likelihood that you're not missing notes is smaller, right? But then if you pick very deeply, you have to use a lot of force to cross the string. So, right? So I compensate for the fact that I don't have accuracy. And that's all going to go away in the future. But don't assume that you need stronger hands. The only reason why you would need stronger hands is to be able to practice a lot, right? Because if you practice for like 3 hours in front of the TV, as I recommend that you do, or with the metronome, then you of course use muscle energy, and that you have to replenish that all the time as you use it. And if you practice faster, with more tempo, more speed, then your body can replenish. You use more energy. You use more muscle energy than you can replenish. Right? You drive too fast, so you can't refuel the car. Right? You have to refuel the muscles all the time. So if you find yourself being only able to practice 10 minutes, it's because you're using too much muscle energy, and you need to slow down. And slowing down is also the way to develop absolute perfect accuracy and precision, instead of trying to get there faster. And by trying to get there faster, you practice making a lot of mistakes, which is what you become really good at. So practicing slower also gives you the ability, and just try it. It requires an enormous amount of discipline, because the brain is going to say, the monkey brain is going to say, go, faster, right? We want to learn faster, so we should play faster. Duh, I'm an idiot, right? And that's what it is. You can't practice and become good at something if you're a monkey, right? You have to use your intelligent frontal lobe part of the brain. And so you have to really require, say, if I had to practice 6 hours in a row or 10 hours, how slow would I actually, have to play in order for me to do that without, and no pauses, right? Is this a thought experiment? It's not something I recommend that you necessarily do. But if you practice like something where you have to stretch as well, like 5, 8, and 10 with your first, third, and fourth finger, and you practice like playing those, how much do you have to focus on relaxing and playing slowly for you to be able to keep doing that? That's the key. If you can keep your focus on that and then increase tempo from there, keeping your focus on being relaxed and playing with absolute accuracy and not straining and stressing, then you can practice for hours. That's the key. And on top of that, we of course have to recognize that the stronger you are, or the more endurant you are in your muscles, because there are two ways of being strong. You can be marathon strong, where you can run 40 kilometers with no pauses, or you can be short or fast twitch muscle fiber strong, where you can lift 200 pounds or 400 pounds for that matter, right? A lot of force, a lot of energy expelled in just 1 second or one movement. That's one type of strong, and then there's the endurant type of strong. And you want both here to some extent. But if you, like this guy write me, he practices 10 hours a day because he can, and I really applaud you for that. But then he wakes up and his fingers are all ruined, and it seems like he's putting too much of a stress on his body. If you can practice 10 hours a day, you might want to do other things than just practice challenging stuff. You want to focus on music theory. You want to focus on rhythm, where you can do totally different, much bigger movements than playing guitar. To put some stuff in there that can give you long breaks from playing a guitar. But you also want to focus on playing slowly and accurately and not using up more muscle energy that your body can replenish. And how do you know when you're doing that? Well, when you get fatigued, when you get tired in your hands, that's when you're doing it. So it's constantly like somebody's knocking you over the head and saying, I can't practice anymore. You did it again. You ran faster than you can really keep it up, right? You can't keep it up. So you're running too fast. You need to slow down, which also strengthens accuracy and precision and learning faster. So you're actually getting there faster in the most effective way possible by slowing down. I know it's counterintuitive like crazy, but that's just, that's how it is with many things. But so you don't really need more strength. I don't need strength for picking. I could do this all day, literally. Because I'm barely touching the string. Right? It doesn't take much energy. And my body and brain can easily replenish that energy as I play. If I try to do stretching, crazy stretches all the time, then I get into trouble because I'm not used to that so much anymore. So I'm going to, and the second I start going into a situation where I want to play something and my fingers really don't want to play it, then I get tense, right? Like everybody does when they practice something they are not used to, which is always, right, when we're practicing. And when you do that, your brain sends two different signals to your fingers at one time. It tries to do something it's used to. So when you pick up the guitar the first time, those movements are totally unfamiliar to the brain. It tries the axe movement. It tries the knife and fork movement. It tries everything. Is this okay? Is this and you have to work against that. That's why it sometimes seems impossible to put that finger in the second fret with your because it's like your brain is working. One part of the brain is working to do one thing, and you are with your conscious mind trying to make it do something else. So it's stress like this, and it is every time. You can practice something so much that when you start practicing other things, your brain tries to play what it is that you've been playing hundreds of thousands of times. Like, if you've been practicing triplets on one string, then if you want to go play four notes on one string, and go to the next string a month after, you can actually feel your brain wanting to play three notes on one string only, because that's what it's comfortable doing. So there's this stress of you trying to do something else than you're comfortable with. And that creates muscle tension, because who's in the middle of this stress of these two impulses? The muscles, trying to do one thing and trying to do another thing at the same time. But the solution to that is not to practice with a grip trainer, which will only put enormous stress, extra stress on your hands if you're practicing a lot already. So you want to throw that out, and you want to use this as your muscle practicing tool. It's true that if you want extra grip strength, you can use one of these, right? Because you practice the fast twitch muscle fibers in your hand or your arm. But really, I never used one of these. It's like, just use your guitar instead. Stop using energy on nothing, on just, and then you're tired when you start practicing. Use the guitar instead and focus like a meditation on relaxing, on accuracy and precision. Right? It's really like a meditation, because you have to silence the monkey brain who just says faster, faster, stronger, stronger, push, push, push. So that's really the way out of it. And sometimes, if you're using every single insight I've been talking about here, you still get a little tired in your hands, and then you take small breaks all the time. But if you find yourself practicing 3 minutes and you're dying, right? And then you can take a 5-minute break, and then you can practice for 3 minutes again. It's a sure sign that you're simply not focused on relaxing. Right? And that's something you have to practice as well, is relaxing and focus and accuracy all the time. And see, what if I had to practice for 5 hours, or somebody would shoot me? How far back do I have to go? And it requires discipline to do that, because you have to discipline the monkey brain, right? From not pushing all the time, making you tired. So see if you can do that. Really focus, shift your focus from practicing really to relaxing as you practice, so you can go on for hours, so you can practice with accuracy, so you can actually practice what it is that you want to learn, which is fretting the notes accurately and doing it fast. If you practice fast, you make a lot of mistakes. You build them into your nervous system, and that's what you do for the rest of your life. Every time you play something fast with alternate picking or legato, you make a lot of mistakes. You get dissatisfied with your own playing style, and you have to go back, 2 years and practice it all over again, because you have to become good at actually playing fast instead of playing a lot of mistakes fast. Hope that makes sense. So, slow down. Focus on the fact that of not using more energy than your body can replenish. And then know that in the long run, you will actually get to a place where, you're not using much force, especially not when you're playing. It's just how it is. And it's not about strength. Just forget about it. It's not about strength. Playing anyway isn't, right? So to drop the workout routines, trying to make your hands stronger, you can just practice. That'll make them stronger to the degree to which they have to be.
Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.